What's up YouTube? Jeff back again from dopetechdaily.com, and I've been on a long hiatus. Actually, that would be a bit of an understatement. It's been about 2.5 months. I just got caught up with a lot of stuff at work. I'm not going to give anybody any excuses. I'm hoping I'm going to get back to a regular schedule, but I won't make any promises. We'll see what happens. Today, I do have the Huawei Mate 9, and I've had it for about 2 weeks. I just now got around to doing a video. So I want to give you guys some 2-week impressions on the Mate 9. Now I do have the box here. I'm sure you guys have already seen unboxings. I'll just quickly go through what comes in the box because you do actually get quite a bit of stuff in this box. Now I did not get the Mate 9 from CES. I actually didn't go. I wanted to go to CES, but again, because of all the things with my day job, my regular job, I was not able to make it this year. So a lot of people got these free at the CES press conference that Huawei did, which is great. I did not get mine free. I bought it for $5.99 on bestbuy.com. Here's what comes in here. You got a little couple of boxes that just slide out of the main box here. Very nice packaging from Huawei. They've always been pretty good at packaging. Definitely they are on the level of Samsung and Apple, I think, when it comes to packaging their products. You got a little SIM tool slid there in the back. I'm not even going to take that out because I've got so many of them. There's a few things in this box we'll take a look at. So you've got inside this package here, you can slide out your paperwork. It's kind of a fancy package just for some paperwork. Nice brown color. Kind of wish they offered the chocolate version of the Mate 9 here in the US. That's the one I really like. That's the international model. I think it might even be the one that has 6 gigabytes of RAM, but paperwork. And they do include a case here for you. From what I've seen, I actually haven't taken it out of the package yet because I wanted to show you guys. It does have sort of like a brown tint to it. It doesn't look very good though. It's very flimsy. I feel like if I wanted to, if I just put a little more pressure and bend this, I snap it right in half. You can see how it looks on the phone itself. It's not going to give you maximum protection or anything. It's not a huge upgrade from just going naked. I guess it won't scratch the back of your phone. That's kind of the point, but I don't recommend this case. I'll show you guys another case option that I picked up on Amazon. It's probably a much better option for cheap. You guys can see also I've got the gray, space gray color, whatever they're calling it. And then here they also make it in a silver, moonlight silver. It's got a white front. You've got your charger, which again I haven't even taken out yet because I've got other chargers. And then the other end of the box, it opens up as well. You've got a couple other things. They do give you quite a few things in the box here. And then the center, there's also something here as well. Let me see what's in the center and get it out. There we go. So you've also got in the center there a little micro USB to USB-C adapter. Pretty sure that's what this is anyway. Probably because that's what Samsung's been including. Yeah, I got a micro USB to USB-C type adapter with some Huawei branding. Of course, you've got your charger here, which is Huawei Supercharge enabled here. USB Type-C, of course, on this phone. As you guys can see, in 2017, everybody's going to move to USB Type-C, which I'll appreciate because I can throw all my micro USB cables away for the most part, except for maybe Bluetooth speakers, something like that. And then lastly, you've got the Huawei headphones. They don't look bad, but you know, these headphones are never that great of quality. They also fall out of my ear all the time, so whatever. I'll talk about it in the full review. I'll try to listen to them a little bit. So anyway, that's the unboxing. Again, that wasn't supposed to be the main part of the video. It's supposed to be about my 2-week impressions of the phone. And you guys can see, again, the gray colorway here on the back. Very nicely built phone from Huawei. Rear fingerprint scanner. You've got the dual camera on the back with the Leica co-branding, as you guys can see right there. I'm very impressed with the camera. We'll talk more about that in a second. On the front, this one's got the black front. I mentioned the silver one has the white front. Huawei branding. Turn it on there. You've got your power button and your volume rocker here. Power button on the bottom, volume rocker on the top there. SIM tray over here on the other side. You can see it's got a beautiful design. Not too much of a bezel in my opinion. I don't know, some people said the bottom bezel a little chunky, but you know, they got to put their branding there. Overall, I think it looks pretty nice. The phone feels great in the hand. Feels like a very premium quality built phone. Just for comparison, I wanted to show you guys. I've got a bunch of phones to show you for comparison, as always. This is last year's Mate 8. You guys know I sold quite a few of my phones. I've still got a few more phones for sale that I'll list on Twitter. And also, a couple people bought phones from me, and they're waiting for me to send them some cases I promised. I will get those cases out to you guys. So again, I've just been super busy with my main job. I haven't been able to get to much of anything to do with YouTube. So those will still be coming. This is the Mate 8. It's pretty similar design in terms of the back. You don't have the dual camera, obviously. Still got the fingerprint scanner. The cutout for the fingerprint scanner is a little bit bigger. Smaller indenture on the back here. Still got Huawei branding. The Huawei logo has changed a little bit. They got rid of the graphic part of it. This is the international model because they didn't release the Mate 8 officially really in the US last year. You can see the Huawei branding still. The front looks pretty similar actually overall. But in my opinion, the phone feels nicer in hand because you can see here from the side profile, the phone's actually quite a bit thinner. And also the metal on the side, just a more continuous feel to it. It doesn't have these sort of rigid edges. It's more rounded towards the back, makes it easier to hold. This is a 5.9-inch phone. You can see it's a little bit shorter this year as well. The last one was pretty tall. So for a 5.9-inch phone, really easy to pocket. It does have a 1080p display, but I'll tell you right now, this 1080p display, it would be really hard for you to tell that it's 1080p. It's beautiful. The colors and the blacks on this are very, very rich. You can see I'm rocking here a wallpaper from Backdrops. Speaking of which, an update on Backdrops because I've been gone so long. They added some new categories to their wallpapers. One I really like is this AMOLED category. Get all of these wallpapers that got really nice contrast and deep blacks. So if you guys have Backdrops, check that out. I like to go there and get some wallpapers for my phone. I have been running the Huawei new version of their operating system, which is much improved. EMUI 5.0 is way better than the EMUI 4 series, which I've complained about in numerous reviews in the past. Their software was absolute garbage. Now they've improved it. You can see now when you swipe down, you've got a more traditional Android sort of notification shade here with all of your quick settings, your brightness. You can edit all of these toggles. It's a huge departure from what Huawei was doing before. And if you go into your settings menu here at the top, you've also got a traditional settings menu. It's still got Huawei's sort of colorful touch to it, which you expect from their previous generations of software, but it's much more nicely organized overall. One thing I will say about the software, it's still a little annoying with all these battery prompts. If you go here into the battery section and you go up here to the top cog, you guys will see right there, power intensive prompt at the top. I turn that garbage off because what it does is whenever you have an app that's draining a little bit of battery life, it starts whining and complaining, sends you a push notification. It's really starting to piss me off, to be honest with you. So I go in there and turned it off. Now that's kind of been how Huawei's done it in the past. They try to overcompensate for things like battery life and performance so that way you don't notice it as a user. But if you're a power user, that's going to make you mad and you're going to want to figure out how to shut those things off. Same thing with apps running in the background. They still try to limit some of those processes. In the full review, I'll talk more about that. It's not as aggressive as in the past, and definitely Huawei has improved things in terms of overall look and feel of the software. It runs super smooth overall. Of course, Huawei has their own Kirin chipset in here, no Snapdragon, very similar to what Samsung does with the Exynos lineup. The Kirin processor, though, very impressive. I haven't had any hiccups at all with this particular phone. Even running it side by side daily with the Pixel, it's shown very, very impressive performance, switching between task and the navigation. I haven't switched to any Action Launcher or Nova Launcher yet. I wanted to give the new Huawei software a go first. I mentioned the camera, so just briefly again, I'll talk more in the full review. This camera is packed full of great options. I took some pictures I posted on Twitter yesterday. This photo is very impressive of my Nike Air Huaraches in my office. Great detail on the photos, just great color as well. This phone takes excellent photos. I would even compare it to the quality that you get out of the S7 Edge and the Pixel. I'll try to do a camera comparison between the three. I think I like this one the best of any camera I've used so far. Dual camera, I don't know if I'm sold on that being a flagship feature. It's not something I use that much, but it's there if you want the dual camera. You can see here you've also got several options to tweak manually. You've got your ISO, you got your shutter, everything like that. You can address your autofocus down there. So a lot of things to play with if you're into the whole photography game. You can go into the pro camera mode, play around with that. But I've been very pleased with both the photo and video capabilities of the Mate 9. What else to say about this phone? I think that's about it for initial impressions. Battery life, I guess I should say that. This phone is an absolute beast in terms of battery life. You guys can see it's at 100%. I've actually been using it for a little bit, just took off the charger maybe like 45 minutes ago, and unlike the V20, it doesn't stay at 100, drop, and then drop all the way to 90. It drops pretty gradually, and it actually can get probably a good day and a half, 2 days battery life. And I use my phone pretty heavily for a lot of things, for social media, for my work, and also, you know, for YouTube. I've been on a break, but I will start using it again for that, answering comments, etc. This phone has great battery life. The charging is very fast. For me, I've heard some people complaining that the Mate 9 doesn't charge that fast. I think I've been using my LG charger actually to charge it, and it's still been very fast for me. I'll give it a go with the stock charger. You guys just saw I just took it out of the packaging. I'll let you guys know how fast it charges with the stock charger. But overall, I've been very impressed with the charging speed and the battery life on this particular phone. So just to give you guys a quick comparison, I know some people on Twitter were asking which phones am I still using these days, because as I told you guys, I already sold a few of my phones from last year. I was getting way too many phones. I had nowhere to put them. But I am still rocking a lineup of, 6 phones here that I use regularly. So I'll go ahead and compare the Mate 9. Still got the Galaxy S7 Edge on deck. Been using that phone for the last, 9 months now. Of course, this Mate 9 is a much bigger phone, 5.9 inches. It's going to be much taller, and of course, it's much wider as well. S7 Edge, still the most pocketable 5.5 inch phone, I think, in terms of overall feel in the hand and size in your pocket. I'm also rocking the Moto Z Force Droid. Love this phone because it also has excellent battery life. Also has that non-breakable, unbreakable screen, quote unquote. It's a great phone, and it does have that great battery life and the Moto mods. When I want to listen to music, I can just throw the speaker mod on here, JBL speaker mod, take that with me. Of course, again, the Mate 9, a much bigger phone. It's not thicker, though. The Moto Z is thicker than the Mate 9, but it is taller. And of course, it's also wider just because that bigger screen. Of course, I'm also still rocking out with the Pixel. Got to have the Google flagship on deck. And I love my Pixel. I'll do a comparison between these two. But actually, the Mate 9 is just as smooth as the Pixel for me in everyday use so far. Of course, after a couple months, that could change. The Pixel has been a beast ever since I've had it. And again, it's a 5.5 inch phone, so the Mate 9 is significantly larger, even though, in my opinion, the Mate 9 is very, very pocketable for a 5.9 inch phone, which is just a huge phablet. Getting into my larger phones, larger sized phones rather, I've got the LG V20 here. So the LG V20 is a 5.7 inch phone, still rocking that. And of course, you can actually see here with the height, these phones are actually about the same height, and they're very similar in width too. So if you look at the V20, actually they're almost dead center, the same in width, height, and thickness. So the V20's got a couple less inches of usable screen real estate, but it's actually around the same size. And then last but not least, of course, I do have the iPhone 7 Plus in jet black. Always got my iPhone on deck just to compare the two operating systems. So as you can see, the iPhone is one of the biggest 5.5 inch phones in the world. And you can see it's almost the same height as a 5.9 inch Mate 9, which is a little annoying if you're an iPhone user. And also the width, also very, very, very similar as well, the width and the thickness. So the iPhone 7 Plus, even though it's 5.5 inches screen real estate, it's almost as big as this 5.9 inch Mate 9. Alright guys, so that is a 2-week impressions video for the Huawei Mate 9. Really like this phone. If you missed out on the Note 7 or you had to return yours because of the recall, this is a great phone to pick up. I think Samsung will make a Note 8 series later this year, but that's 7 months away, probably in August, and they might release a bigger S8, so you might want to wait for that. But if you just have to have a big phablet right now, you can't go wrong with the Mate 9, especially at that $600 price point, 64 gigabytes of onboard storage out of the box. That's a huge win in my opinion. Alright guys, let me know what you think about the Mate 9. What other videos you guys like to see me do? I'm hoping to get back to a regular schedule. I certainly miss doing YouTube. I do enjoy doing it, and as you guys can see, I haven't got out of the phone game. Still been messing around with phones since I've been gone. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. You can follow me at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Google+. All the links in the description. Appreciate you checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.